Okay, quick music disclaimer here. I do not own the rights to this music, which belongs to the rightful owner, who is the intoxicating mind of Dr. Frankenstein. So he made my intro and my outro, and I hope you guys enjoy. Check them out on Spotify and YouTube, and no copyright infringement is intended. Have a good day.
A clear choice of good versus evil, of right versus wrong.
Twisted Tales.
I'm Sam Rossi.
And I'm AJ Carey.
Join us every Wednesday as we summarize and discuss true crime on Killing 15 Minutes.
That's right, 15 minutes or less on some sick puppies, serial killers, and criminals. Every Wednesday.
I write it, AJ reads it. Available on all major audio platforms.
And please follow us on all major social media outlets as well.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Jake and... Oh, wait, sorry.
Shit, go ahead.
Welcome to the Jake and Josh Show. Oh, wait, that's not... Sorry. You do it.
Welcome to the Josh and Tubbsy Show. Oh, wait, no, it's
Starring
the
Josh and Tubbsy.
The Josh and Twisty Show.
Starring Josh and Twisty.
Ooh, baby. All right, let's fucking see where the fuck my notes are. All right, welcome back, folks. So tonight, I'll be joined with my friend Josh, and we're going to tell you a little bit of tale. Twisted Tales. So this one's going to cover the murder of Tracey Woodford. So, did you read any of the shit that I sent you on that?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, this one's a bit of a doozy anyway. So first off, we'll give you a little bit of detail on who Tracey was. So she was born on February 13th, 1968, and she grew up in the village of Rita Felon, and this is just outside of Pontypridd. Now, Tracey grew up in Wales, so it's a country in southwest Great Britain, and it's part of the United Kingdom. So the whole place has like a population of 3.2 million, give or take. So a lot of people, right?
That's insane.
Oh yeah. Now the majority of people that are living in Wales are actually British citizens. Now Tracey was very close to her family. She lived with her brother Sean and her mother, Linda. Now the family had a strong connection, mind you. You know, they supported each other the best that they could. And Tracey Elizabeth Woodford was described as a slim woman. She was around 5 foot tall, and she had shoulder-length, gingery blonde hair. Also, she was a single woman. She was unemployed, and apart from collecting money at like the local post office, like to go get her checks and shit for the month, she'd do a little bit of shopping here on behalf of her family. So apart from like collecting money at the local post office, sometimes she would visit like local pubs, and she didn't really venture out all too often. And the whole pub thing, like she had a low tolerance for alcohol.
It's antiquated.
Yeah, so she would just like get really buzzed or tipsy off like 1 or 2 drinks depending. Now Tracey's sister, her name was Sharon Maidment. She said that she would see her sister regularly, almost every other day, and she described their relationship as close and loving. Sharon was married, she had her own family, and she actually lived not far from Tracey.
Did you say her last name was Maidment?
Yeah.
What is up with the British and their names for things? Have you ever noticed that? How out of pocket? You know they say speedometer?
No.
Yeah, instead of speedometer.
Speedometer.
Yeah, they're like, it's a speedometer, you know? And you're like, that's a fucking speedometer, dude.
That's hilarious.
Wild. Yeah.
So wild. Now, Tracey did have her problems over the years, just like anybody, right? But I mean, she got through them. She was loved by her family. They all helped out when shit went down. Tracey was very kind, caring, a very loving person, and some say that she didn't have a bad bone in her entire body. She wouldn't hurt a fly, just a really quiet and gentle soul. Now, family mentioned that she was like a very devoted daughter, a wonderful sister, a wonderful sister-in-law, and was also a great aunt to like her nieces and nephews and all that. So, proper good person, mind you.
Very cool.
Yes. Now, she didn't have much in the ways of money or like possessions or things like that. But I mean, what little she did have, she would actually give her nieces and nephews because that's what she liked to do. Like she would like to go buy them like candy and stuff, and it would put a smile on their faces and stuff like that, right? I mean,
Oh
that's
yeah.
just yeah, like that's just what made her like the happiest, right? It's just the person that she was. Tracy's mother, Linda, said that Tracy just led a simple life. It pretty much revolved around her family, like I said, and she was just happy doing her crossword puzzles and all that shit. So, yeah, she had her nice, quiet, little quaint life.
Very cool. I've always
Yeah,
been a homebody. Like,
yeah, me
why the
too.
fuck would you want to go anywhere? I mean, really. Like, at home, you got, I mean, if you got like heating and air conditioning, gold, dude.
Yeah,
Working toilet, amazing.
that's all you need. Some
I'm
internet,
staying at home. Yeah, yeah.
some
Yeah,
room
you can
space.
cut the internet, dude. Just give me a toilet. Fine.
The outhouse is out back.
Yeah.
So, one morning, she woke up pretty excited. This was April 21st, 2015. So, she had her cup of tea and she was talking to her family about this ring that she was going to go buy. She said goodbye to her mother and her brother, and then she headed on out to Pontypridd's town center just to do a little bit of shopping. So, the 21st of 2015, that would have been a Tuesday, I believe.
Wow.
I went back in time to check that.
Yeah, it says the evening of Tuesday, April 21st, 2015. But, I
That's
mean,
cool.
you wrote this, so
I
we
mean,
don't know if we can trust that either.
I don't know if I can
You
trust
ever
my
seen
own
those
writing.
people that can tell you any fucking... This is way off topic, but you ever see those people that can tell you what day of the week any date was? They just think about it, and then boom, pops in their head, and they say it.
Yeah,
Amazing. Amazing.
I remember those. People are
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, like Buddy just like April 17th, 1975, and he's like, it's a Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's insane. Those
Oh,
people are nuts.
totally. Now, sometimes people just call this place Pawnee for short, right? Abbreviations and all that, right? Because you got to abbreviate shit in your life. So this place is like a town and a community in Rhondda Cynon South Wales. A close-knit kind of community. Everybody knew one another and all that. So the main reason for her outing that day was to go get a ring that she wanted to get for some time. This was a nice silver ring that had caught her eye at one point, so she went out to go grab it. Now, she said goodbye to her family and all that, went into town. So she went to this place called a cash generator store. So it's like a pawn shop, I guess. They operate as a buy and sell and loan service there over in the UK.
Money
Well,
laundering operation.
oh yeah, like these stores offer up like a wide range of items like electronics, tablets, gaming consoles, jewelry, shit like that. It's
Yeah.
pretty much just like secondhand items, eh?
Yeah, all the shit people don't want anymore.
That's right. Or like if somebody needs quick cash, they'll pawn their PS4 and fucking, get it back at a later date kind of thing.
Yeah, they'll be sad because they pawned it to the people for fucking $30, and then they got to go buy it back from them for 400. But that's just the way that the story goes, man.
Oh yeah, it's the way the cookie crumbles. Now this is where Tracy had went to go buy a ring, and she actually put money on this sometime prior so that she could get it that day. So kind of like a layaway type deal. Like you come in, you put some money towards it, and they'll keep it for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Now instead of going home after buying the ring and all that, she decided to visit some local pubs in the area. And I believe there were like three spots that she had visited. We'll start off here at the Tumble Inn Pub. This is located at 4-9 Broadway on Sardis Road. So it was here she had a couple drinks and she sat alone. she didn't really know anybody at the bar. So after she popped on over to Alfred's bar, this is located on 3-4 Market Street. This opens up at 11 a.m. And it was here where she was seen falling off her bar stool on 2 occasions. So,
Oh, she was shit faced.
oh yeah, off like a couple drinks.
Oh, did she get roofied?
No, she just had a low tolerance to alcohol.
That's crazy, dude. 2 drinks, she's just shit faced. Didn't even smoke any weed on top of it.
No, didn't get the
That's
spins.
insane. Wow. Sorry. Go on.
So a couple of customers went over and they helped her up back on the bar stool. And this happened on another occasion, so they did the same. So it was here where she was described as being intoxicated and she was cut off from alcohol. And like I said, like she rarely drank and shit, right?
Amazing.
Well, basically, it wasn't something that she did on like a daily basis or anything. But the low tolerance for booze and all that, I'll give you guys an example on that.
Yeah. Individuals with low alcohol tolerance means that they have a heightened sensitivity to alcohol, meaning their bodies react more strongly to the effects of alcohol, even in the smallest of amounts. I'd like to add, too, that also your body weight can play a very large effect on how much alcohol affects you. And so women are typically more intensely affected by alcohol because they're usually a little lighter. And one drink might be all someone needs to catch a buzz. I mean, or get shit-faced. You take one shot of moonshine, then all of a sudden, off to the cleaners.
Oh yeah, wiped out.
That was
And
not the analogy that I was going for.
maybe she just wanted to, let loose for a little bit here. Now, as the day progressed and went on into the evening, this was around 7:45 p.m. by this time. So Tracey ended up at the Skinny Dog Pub. This is located on 1 Broadway. Now, she was refused service by a barmaid. This was Rebecca Williams. But she was given a Diet Coke. Here you go. You're too drunk. Have this pop. So a lot of folk actually knew Tracey here, like in the bar and all that. They'd see her around and shit. But Tracey was cut off, and there was a few others here that had kind of seen her, so they invited her over to the table here. And who's to say that, they weren't ordering drinks for themselves and just feeding her fucking liquor too, right?
Yeah.
Now, it was here where Tracey had joined a man at the table. His name was Christopher Nigel May. And 2 of his friends were drinking at the table, so they were with him. So all 3 men are like known barflies and shit. And this Christopher dude was like 50 years old, and I believe Tracey was 47.
Damn, they're old.
Yeah, not a big age gap, really.
Wow. Yeah, no. Not a creeper.
No.
Oh, is he a creeper?
Probably still is a creeper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is the guy.
The guy.
Oh, all right.
So his friends and co-workers describe this guy as like a nice bloke, So, meaning nice fella, I guess. They call people blokes over that way.
Lingo over there.
Yeah. And he was sort of like this joker, like a funny storyteller,
Yeah, he's a right proper bloke.
Oh, yes. Right proper bloke.
When Tracey had walked through the pub door that evening of Tuesday, April 21st, 2015, she caught May's attention due to her nervous and fragile demeanor. A waitress said, "The men were pretty merry at this time, after drinking around 6 to 8 pints. When Tracey first rolled into the bar, she's alone, a bit timid, nervous perhaps, and was called over to sit with the 3 men at their table. At some point, she had joined Mr. May and 2 other men who were drinking at the table. Christopher and Tracey got to talking, and some of the bar patrons noticed both were a little flirtatious. The Skinny Dog Pub was May's favorite hangout spots."
Perfect. And at one point here, May was heard saying, "If I buy you a few drinks, maybe you'll come home with me tonight." Guy was trying really hard to put on the moves, right? Thick as molasses, right? Huh?
Baby, it's cold outside.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The old Christmas tunes.
Yeah.
So when he tried to put the moves on her, Tracey was heard responding that she was not that kind of girl. Before, like, May just played it off, oh, I'm just joking, right? Now, at one point, Tracey said, it's cold out. Or, fuck, god damn, look what you got me doing. It's cold outside. So at one
Um,
point, Tracey said that she was cold, and Mays had given her his coat to warm up. Now, he continued on with the inappropriate sexual offers. She fucking declined these left, right, and center, right? Like karate chop. Left, right, center.
yeah.
Hooah. So,
Sure.
so let's talk a little bit more about this dude here. Now, Christopher May began working at Hadley's Butcher Shop up in Pawnee Prid when he was about 14. So this was like a part-time basis, and then he later on went to work for them on a full-time basis. Now, while he worked there, his work involved him dealing with animal carcasses,
That's
shit
how it
like
always
that.
starts.
Yeah, cutting up meat and all that.
Yeah, well, they're always like, let me fuck with this dog. And then they're like, dog's not serious enough. And then they progress from there. Maybe they start with like a mouse or a roly-poly, and then they work their way up the animal
That's
kingdom.
right. Mostly serial killers like fucking cut up like cats and shit like that.
Yeah,
Snakes.
fucking weirdos, dude. I like cats, dude. Cats are pretty cool.
Yeah, cats are awesome, dude.
Yeah, sometimes they're assholes, but, they're cool still. You love them.
Well, they're mediocre, right?
Yeah, yeah. They think they're gods.
Exactly. So he left here in 1991, and he was working there for like 18 years. And obviously, over those 18 years, you're gonna learn how to fucking be a skilled butcher, right?
A coworker of May's said that he taught him how to bone meat. We'd have half a carcass of cow, and we'd just make sure all the meat was off the bone. And he'd cut around the bone, making sure meat was off the bone. They were doing this because they were making pies and sausages, different things like that. His colleague recalls that he was very good, much better than me, at getting the meat off. I enjoyed working with him immensely. Christopher May had a conviction for burglary and theft back in 1982. In 1995, he was convicted of arson after setting a school on fire and was found inside by firefighters playing a piano. That's wild. He was sentenced to 18 months imprisonment. So arson would be the criminal act of deliberately setting fire to property. And driving while under the influence of alcohol in 2005 and again in 2010. So later, he worked as a taxi driver in Pontypridd. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Pontypridd?
Pontypridd.
That's wild. Pontypridd. And worked at a factory up in Newbridge. He moved to Cardiff at the age of 31 and met his partner, Tina. They had 2 children together, but the relationship later broke down in 2002 and they separated. Tina took her own life in 2010 while living in Kent. Wild.
Very wild. So, after the breakup of this guy's marriage, Christopher May had moved to Aberdare in 2002. And it was here he would dive into the booze a little bit, right? Start hanging out with friends, drink a little bit heavier. But he was neither angry or violent towards anybody. Now, later on, when he would return to Pontypridd, he kind of lived this like hermit-like fucking existence, right? He'd only go out, and drink, and go back to the house, right?
Yeah.
So he started regularly going to the town center, and he started going to the Skinny Dog pub. He described his alcohol consumption as pretty excessive. He was drinking about 6 to 8 Newcastle brown ales a night. Not bad. I mean, you're drinking an 8-pack, whatever.
Good amount.
Yeah.
I mean,
Get
every
what?
night.
Well, yeah, you gotta watch your sugars and shit, right?
That's
Diabetes.
a lot, dude. That shit adds up. And then then you die. You get the diabetes. Your liver shuts down.
Yeah. You gotta be fucking on insulin and shit. Now, the beer that he used to drink, this was called Newcastle. So it's a brown ale. It's originally brewed up in Newcastle, obviously. And this is up in England. So it was launched in 1927 by Colonel Jim Porter. It has a 4.7 alcohol content, and it's manufactured by Heineken, of all fucking places. Porter had refined the recipe for Newcastle Brown Ale alongside his buddy. He was a chemist. His name was Archie Jones, and they did this over a period of 3 years. So, a little bit of beer talk. Now, back to Christopher here. So he came in almost every night. The waitresses and bar staff said he was a nice guy. Never really got out of hand. And sometimes he would catch a ride home and the staff would close up and shit. They'd give him a ride. But at one point here, he just started hitting on like a redheaded waitress. Her name was Cerise. So she said this guy was like kind of weird because he got a couple drinks into him and he said, "Come close to my face," you know. And she did, and he's like, "Well, redheads are perfect people, better than anyone else." And you know, she thought it was strange, so she
Did he
kind
say it
of,
in that accent?
oh yeah, definitely.
That's awesome.
So she went to the other side of the bar. She said she mentioned that it made her feel uncomfortable at the time, and that she didn't really want to serve him again after that. Now, Miss Richards said that the week before, he actually struck up a conversation with her in the pub, and she offered him a drive home, right? And yeah, his kindness was there and everything, but she didn't really think anything weird of it. But it was here where he told her that redheads were good in bed, right? So I mean, it's kind of a weird fucking thing to say, you know. Thanks for the ride. Redheads are good in bed. What's
Yeah,
that?
that's pretty strange.
A little bit, right? And she did call this comment creepy, right? But you know, whatever. Other things he enjoyed in life were watching rugby and other things like that. He was mentioned to be a fun character. And he currently worked at the Grill Steakhouse as a dishwasher. So, dishwasher, you'd like fucking clean your kitchen up, make it sanitary, wash
Yeah,
dishes, cutlery, all that.
yeah. I used to be a dishwasher. You ever do dishwashing?
Yeah, man.
That's shitty.
Garbage
You get all
removal.
soaked, dude. You're like, ugh. You smell like the fucking dish, which is this distinct smell.
Oh, yeah. Then you get garbage juice dripping on you because you got to take the trash out to the back.
Not a good one, bye.
Oh, great times, man. Great fucking times.
Not very
Plus,
good
you
pay
got to,
either.
what's that?
You'd think you'd have to pay them good to do that thing. No, people just do it for like, $8 an hour or whatever. It's
Fuck,
crazy.
man. I think when I started, I was getting like fucking, what, like, not even $6 an hour.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah. Plus, like, you gotta like stock your supplies in the kitchen and stuff, and the
Yeah.
walk-in freezer, shit like that.
This really is painting a story in this guy's favor. I mean, this dude, he's an alcoholic, so already he's got the whole, he's like this lonely alcoholic guy, and then he's like 50, been drinking an 8-pack a day for his entire life, and then he washes dishes for a living as a 50-year-old. He's got no hope, you know, just living till he dies, and so he
Oh yeah.
needs something to give him a thrill.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely, man. I mean, there's always a glimmer of hope, you know.
yeah.
Fuck, man, can't be a fucking lifetime alcoholic. Fuck, I drank like a fish, and I'm fucking like, yeah, like 3 years off or whatever, right? So,
Yeah, then you'd be sad, dude. You'd be sad at the fucking end of it, dude. And it
always sad,
makes you
buddy.
sad. Yeah.
So, back to the night in question. Now, after like a bit of banter, some conversations, Tracy agreed to leave with the couple guys there. So she was going to go back to the 50-year-old's house, Christopher May. He actually lived on the outskirts of town to go continue drinking. Because, you know, you're an alcoholic. You always got booze back at the home, right? You always got booze back there. The two friends of May's actually dipped out, I believe. One went the other way, and one was going to like this fucking kebab shop, right? This is a place that serves up like donairs, falafels, and other types of wraps.
Nice.
Yeah, so Christopher promised her some more alcohol back at his place, so this is like kind of how he lured her back to his place. But I mean, there was like some other shit that I found too that said like he kind of fucking grabbed her arm really tight and just like brought her there on his own fucking whim, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you never know how shit shakes down, right? Guy could have probably been like a two-faced fucking dude, right? Like just fear fucking come with me type shit, right? And Christopher May and Tracey were last seen heading towards the Pontypridd railway station. And this railway station actually serves the town of Pontypridd. It's located at the junction of Merthyr Line.
Pontypridd at the Merthyr line.
Pontypridd.
So Pontypridd at the Merthyr line.
So, funny thing there, this Merthyr Line or whatever, it actually opened up as Newbridge Junction back in 1840. Little facts, I guess. So after the group left the pub here, Tracey was actually seen like walking in the general direction of his home. This is up in Andrews Court, up on Rickards Street. You think that name's you think the street name's actually named after a beer, Rickards?
Rickards. It's almost like Richards, but then it's Rickards.
Yeah, maybe we should have put more detail into this. Fuck's sakes.
Insane.
Oh. Now this is like a big red brick building, and it's like a whole bunch of apartments. So this would be the very last time that anyone would ever see her again. And the last thing she was wearing was a black cardigan, and that she was last seen in.
What
You
the
go.
fuck is a cardigan?
Oh, like a sweater.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, go on.
Okay.
And going to a bar alone isn't the best idea in the world. You don't know what kind of creepy fucks are out there. And for her to go back to his place alone for drinks was way out of her ordinary life. Maybe it was the booze giving her more confidence. Who knows? Maybe she thought the dude was friendly and didn't want to end the night and wanted to talk some more. Once back at his place, he turned on his laptop and played some music, trying to set the mood and try some more advances on her, which Tracey denied. How do they know this? She just wanted a few drinks and to relax, but Christopher had other things in mind. He got angry, flipped his shit, and began to strangle the poor woman and killed her right then and there. He had her all alone. He preyed on her vulnerability. He wanted her to succumb to his advances and was shut down cold. This pissed him off, as sometimes certain folk don't take kindly to rejection. A little example on that. Some men struggle with rejection due to a bunch of factors. They might perceive it as a threat to their masculinity. They're like, oh, my masculinity.
Oh.
Entitlement.
Right in the masculinity.
A man might think he's owed something, etc., believing they deserve attention or affection, and that rejection is unfair or unexpected, and a lack of emotional maturity. So this dude, yeah, he could be like the type of dude, he's always scoring with this recipe. All I gotta do is lure this chick to my house and get her shit-faced. And then maybe they don't reject him and everything goes good, he lets them go. But then she rejected him. He was like, oh, not this time, bitch. And then he strangled her to death.
See, makes you think, like, how many people he would just play this whole charade on, too, like you said, right? Like, how many others he would lure back there, right? And maybe they get drunk, and maybe he'd slip them something, who knows, right? But obviously, he didn't take fucking rejection very well, right?
Did he admit to how everything went down? Or is that just kind of how they guessed it went down?
They actually had a bunch of shit here about that. I'll tell you the story here.
All right, sorry.
Oh, no, well, questions are questions, buddy.
Yeah.
And like this can also go off like coping mechanisms and shit. So coping mechanisms are like thoughts and behaviors that are like they help people manage stressful situations or emotions. Now these can also be healthy or unhealthy. And this actually depends on who you are as a person. So like if you're a nice person, you're like, whatever, she rejected me. But if you're like a 50-year-old alcoholic drinking 8 beer a day, you're going to be fucking angry.
And emotionally immature.
That's correct. Yeah. So he straight up went for like a sexually motivated attack, or sexual assault, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And sexual assault's actually any unwanted sexual contact that is not freely chosen by the recipient. So, pretty much the fucking act of violence in which sex is used as a weapon, right? When the next day rolled around, this was the 22nd of April, and the family became like a little bit concerned and, worried about her because she fucking wasn't home and she always comes home, right? So they kind of called around, and with no word, like her cell phone went unanswered, all that, they ended up calling police because they didn't know where the hell she was, so they started to panic. And a missing persons report was filed. And police actually got off their asses right away. Like, they started backtracking her, like, last known whereabouts and stuff. They went door to door. They talked to anyone and everyone. So, all these questions had led them to some info about her being seen at a few bars in town. And especially the Skinny Dog Pub. That was another bar name that was mentioned. So, police went to go question the workers at the 3 different bars. Kind of see who she was there with, when she left, and if she left with anybody. Because, those are important questions to ask in a fucking missing persons case, right? It's all routine.
Yeah, of course.
Now, these inquiries led police to Mr. May's, like, flat, I guess that's his apartment. They call it a flat over that way. They actually went there on April 24th, so they took like 3 days of questioning and walking around and shit and talking to the family. So they heard from numerous people that Tracey was last seen with Christopher May. So obviously, they gotta go talk to this dude, right? Now, she was last seen heading in the general direction of his flat. Like I said, was up in Andrews Court. And barmaids and all that told them that the pair had met at the town's Skinny Dog Pub on the 21st of April. So they walked on over to Rickard Street, or maybe they drove, maybe they had a police cruiser, who knows? Maybe it wasn't too far, right? I don't know. But this is in the Gregg area of the town, and the apartments are owned by RCT Housing. This is actually a housing association that provides accommodations for like lower rent than like private landlords would sell. Private landlords like rents 1,000 would probably be
Oh,
like,
it's like Section 8 or some shit.
yeah. Like if you can't afford to either purchase your own home or rent privately, this is the housing association that might be able to help you, so you fucking give them a call.
Low-income housing.
That's right. Now cops went to his apartment and gave a little rap on the door. And these two were Sergeant Stuart Williams and a Constable Greg Gardner. Now, once he opened up the door here, just to see who it was, he noticed the 2 officers. He was like, fuck. And he was kind of reluctant to let them in and talk. Now, one of the officers said the place kind of reeked of like a strong cat piss smell, kind of like fucking urine or fucking rotten meat and whatever, right?
Yeah.
Also, it kind of like was overpowered by like a little bit of bleach and other cleaning products. So obviously they thought something was up, right? Now the other officer said it kind of smelled like fucking spoiled meat. But they asked if he had seen her. He admitted to seeing her and shit. He's like, oh yeah, we left the Skinny Dog Pub with her on April 21st. So he pulled up this bullshit story. He said that he expected to get lucky. He copped a feel on her, and she told him to piss off. And then she dipped out. So that left him alone, and he went back to his place alone. That's a good enough story, right? So,
That's nuts.
well, I mean, you gotta think fast on your feet, right?
Yeah.
So police had asked if it was cool to come in, look around for a bit, and he mentioned that he was like actually tidying up his apartment, shit like that. So he would
Actually,
prefer that.
it's kind of dirty. I wouldn't prefer that you see my apartment in this kind of, unorganized state. Yeah.
I don't want you to see my apartment in this light. So
Come back in the evening.
yeah, come back when I'm done. So he tried to get them to come back at another time, right? But the officers didn't let up. They were pretty persistent on checking things out. They're like, oh man, it's just normal police procedure. Only take a moment, right? And as they got in, the smell got worse. So things didn't add up. The smell of cleaners, the fucking foul smell. So this gave them an indication that this was a possible crime scene. And it was being in the process of being cleaned up. So, I mean, like when they walked in, it wasn't a big apartment. They looked around. Kitchen was clean. They went down the little fucking hallway here. And they looked into the bathroom. It also looked pretty tidy, right? Like, wasn't anything out of place. It was really fucking clean. Kind of too clean for like a 50-year-old alcoholic, right? You know, you get those beer shits.
Yeah.
Oh, terrible. So, when the officer got in there, the smell got like wicked stronger and a lot more noticeable to the officers. So Sergeant Williams had noticed the shower curtain was just pulled over, right? Like it was closed. He opened it up quickly, looked in, closed it. Then he was like, what the fuck was that? Opened it up again, and there was some of Tracey's body, which at first he actually thought it was like a closed store mannequin or something of that nature. But I mean, like, you gotta be fucking weird to cut up a store mannequin and bring it home, right? So, like, who's bringing
And
mannequins?
then like make it all like bloody and weird and put it in your shower.
Oh, I mean, fuck. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you gotta think about that, man. Like, nobody's fucking taking mannequins from stores, man. But whatever. I mean, sorry, off topic. But I mean, it was actually the partial remains of Tracey Woodford, the missing woman that they were looking for. And she was lying in the shower, and there were 2 dismembered arms and 2 legs. One of the officers had mentioned that, quote, I did not believe what I saw, and described it as if someone had cut up a mannequin and just fucking placed it in the shower, like I said, right? Now, Sergeant Williams also said, like, I was very shocked upon the discovery. Obviously, it's a fucking dead body. So, a search of the apartment, police found, like, a number of tools. There was a handsaw, a kitchen knife, a Stanley knife, and a pair of scissors and secateurs.
Secateurs. I never knew they were called secateurs, but from the context, it's loppers. They lop branches off of trees, like branches that can be like an inch thick or so.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Pruning shears or what have you.
yeah. Well, pruning shears are the small version, and then secateurs are the long-handled ones.
Oh, right,
You
right.
can really
Gotcha.
got some leverage. You can really cut through, lop them fingers off or whatever.
Fucking, you get that oomph.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, you can cut, like, branches off trees, shrubs, shit like that, and what'd you say, it can cut up to, like, 2 centimeters thick or something?
Oh, even thicker probably, but you gotta put some oomph into it, you know.
Yeah.
Gotta,
Oomph.
yeah,
Like that.
yeah, but yeah, at least at least 2 centimeters.
So, I mentioned a Stanley knife, so that would have been like a utility knife, like a box cutter or something, right? Pocket knife, or sometimes could be like specialty knives, because they sell a variety of different shit, right?
Kinds of shit. Yeah, they're like Milwaukee with their selling everything. Or Husky. Yeah, big name.
So a Stanley knife would be like a fucking utility knife, pocket knife, or whatever. Like they sell a lot of specialty knives and shit, right? Used for a variety of cutting jobs. Stanley tools were introduced back in 1857 and are now owned by Stanley Black and Decker. Now it was these tools that he had used to dismember her after he choked her to death. And like I said, Josh, like he had cutting experience in the butcher shop, fucking 18 years of that, right? And now
Yeah, he knew what he needed.
yeah, he knew what to do.
He didn't have to get any power tools.
Yeah. And he put this to use on a human body, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, the suspect was then arrested on suspicion of murder. So, Sergeant Williams read Christopher May his rights, and all Christopher said was, I know. So, he knew he was fucked.
Yeah.
So they hauled him off for questioning. They started the interrogation.
So they hauled him off for questioning and started the interrogation. May was taken to the Merthyr Tydfil police station for questioning. Meanwhile, the forensic team started to check the spots that he mentioned. starting with his apartment.
So they loaded him up into a police cruiser, and then they asked him, "Where's the rest of Tracey's remains?" I can't do an accent.
Where's the rest of Tracy's remains?
And to which he said, "Some of her is in my cupboard."
Is in my cupboard. Oh, this is terrible. We can't do it this way. God.
Oh, fuck, we're gonna get fucking killed.
Some of us in my cupboard.
Some of it's in me cupboard. Meanwhile, the forensic team started to check the spots that he had mentioned, starting with his apartment. Now, they loaded him up into the police cruiser, and they asked him, where's the rest of the remains and shit. And he said, "Some of her is in me cupboard. And in the drain of the Pontypridd Rugby Club, or I guess it's called the RFC, which stands for Rugby Football Club." And he told
Those
them
guys
where
are hardcore.
Huh?
Those guys are hardcore dudes. They fucking, they're rough. They're rough guys.
Oh yeah, fuck man, they kick the shit out of anybody.
Yeah.
So it was here at the Rugby Football Club that her remains were actually edit. So he said, "Some of her is in my cupboard and in the drain of the Pontypridd Rugby Club," or the fucking RFC. It's actually stands for Rugby Football Club.
Rough bunch.
These guys are pretty tough dudes.
Yeah.
And he only told them where her remains were, and then, like, nothing else. He didn't admit his guilt in the fucking horrible crime or anything. Police knew he did it. They just needed, like, to figure out how and why, right? So up in his apartment, they found a decapitated torso that was recovered from a black bag in a kitchen cupboard. There was the top of a thumb and, like, 4 fingers in that. This actually matched the right arm that was found in the shower. And they also found a purse and her bank cards and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one I thought you were talking about the drain of the rugby club. I thought you were talking about like a drain, like a regular old drain. You're talking about like a storm drain that goes underneath. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And while in the apartment, they found a fucking duvet that was wrapped around like a bunch of carrier bags and stuff, like garbage bags. And they found on the inside bloodstained clothes, and they found a black Adidas like carry bag or whatever, like a sports bag. And this contained the upper torso of a woman. Now her head was later discovered in like this underground fucking chamber, like you said, of that storm drain.
Yeah.
So that was located on the Sardis Road. Her head was actually lying on its side, about 138 meters into that storm drain, man. So, I mean, if we're going by feet, I guess fucking 453 feet into that drain.
Wow. That's so yeah, he crawled up into the drain. Really, it's a far crawl. Nobody
Yeah.
probably would have ever found it, but it probably would have got washed out eventually, I figure. And then somebody would have noticed it as a human skull. It's the most recognizable, human bone.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that would have been found eventually if it got washed out or what have you, right? But
Yeah.
now, the police officers that looked in the storm drain here, they first encountered, like, fucking pitch black darkness, right? Like, running water. You can't see shit when you're in there, man. Like, fuck. But, I mean, once they got in, the pipe opened up in, like, this underground chamber. So one of the officers, like, turned his head, like, to avoid, like, the very heavy flow of water from the left, right? So he thought he saw somebody looking at him, but no, it was just fucking Tracy's human head. It was actually wet from the spray of water and stuff lying on its right side. So they noticed there was slash marks across her face and a lot of bruising. So he cut her and beat the shit out of her. Crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
I just like when stuff goes into the drains, though. Like, I understand this is a real thing that happened, and it's sad that she got decapitated and her head got put in the drains, but it makes the story cooler when they go in the drain, and they're like, oh, like the killer has his lair in the drain where he keeps his trophies. That's like just some real movie shit.
Well, yeah, man. Like, even when I was checking out like videos and shit, like yeah, they've like centered on the whole scariness of the drain and stuff. You're right.
Yeah.
Now, for those that don't know what a storm drain is, it's like a drain that's built to carry away excess water in the times of heavy rain. Now, detectives thought that he kept this here as like a fucking souvenir of some sort, so maybe later on he'd get drunk and just go fucking check it out or something, right? And on a ledge a meter or so from the bottom of the chamber, there was a like an Iceland carrier bag. This actually contained Tracey's lower torso. And two other carrier bags were found, but these were empty, and these were actually containing Tracey's DNA and shit. And by now, people were just gathering around those fucking apartment buildings, right? Like talk spread around fucking Pawnee Prit, right? So they wanted to figure out why there was a heavy police presence here. And then, you're going to get your media and all that shit, right? So up above, police helicopters were now checking things out too, right? Seeing if they could see anything or spot something, right? And police search teams could be seen through like combing the areas and stuff like that. Like they were going like around the scrubland, all around Sardis Road. And they posted officers here at like every entrance to the rugby ground. So they kind of shut this shit down too, right? And, officers were shouting what they seen or what they didn't see. And the road underneath the railway bridge, next to the train station there, where they were like walking through and shit, that was actually sealed up.
Police started asking some more questions to the folk that came around. They interviewed the couple who lived below him in the apartment building. They said they heard a loud-ass bang around the 2:20 a.m. mark, and it was loud, and it startled them awake. The boyfriend would come up to his place and watch a rugby game, stuff like that, every once in a while. And the couple was Gail and Michael. Those are their names. They played it off, and they knew that May frequented the bar scene and probably fell when he was drunk. They said they didn't hear raised voices or anything to that extent. They later told police that the thud was followed by footsteps out of the bedroom into the living room and back. Workers were also questioned, and said he came to work the next day with scratches on his face. He played it off by saying he was helping someone do remodels or was fixing something, whatever. Since he was a really nice fella, nobody questioned it.
And the steakhouse that he worked at back then is actually permanently closed these days. So this is located up on Bridge Street. Now, the day when May had arrived at work at the Grill Steakhouse, his like chef manager, Charlotte Lewis was his name. He said that he was like building this wall for like his parents or doing renos or something. So like he had a pole from a place called B&Q. So as he was carrying it home, it hit him in the head and left a bunch of scratches and shit.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, you just say whatever. I guess if you say something that seems like weird, you're like, oh, fuck, man, why would he make that up, you know?
Yeah, right. Like nobody's gonna question it. Even this guy said like later on to police and stuff, like, I didn't think anything of it at the time. But then when he got home and shit, he thought that it didn't make sense. And then after all this shit came out, like to the media and everything, like he kind of really thought about that.
Yeah, you never think your neighbor just, killed somebody.
No.
If you heard it or saw it or whatever, your neighbor's a real fucking weirdo. But these people, they keep good public appearances, or at least decent public appearances.
Well, like there was a fucking guy that I knew there. I forget his name now. Like I'd see him around when I was a kid and shit there, and we lived in the fucking apartments there down by Terrace Street and shit. The chicken coops. There was a guy there that fucking killed his fucking wife or whatever. But yeah, you wouldn't think anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I rambled on about that.
Oh, no, I've known people that, killed people, and I'm like, oh, damn, they killed people and went to prison,
Yeah. Now, there was another neighbor here that actually saw this guy carrying that post. They said it was like a wooden fence post, right? So the story did line up, because, like, he was taking it over to his sisters and shit, but, she said that he looked extremely tired that day. And that was the very next day after he killed Tracey and shit. And at least 4 South Wales police vans, and one helicopter took part in the operation. So this is what actually drew out all the fucking local residents and shit.
So a post-mortem examination was carried out on the remains of Tracey's body, which gave the cause of her death as cardiac arrest caused by pressure to the neck. So this dude strangled her, sounds like. Semen was also found on Tracey's body with a DNA profile which matched that of May's. Whether sexual intercourse had occurred prior to or after death was unknown. Pathologist Derek James, who examined Miss Woodford's body, said the dismemberment had been carried out by someone with experience of knives or of cutting up human bodies or animals. May's laptop was also examined, and it was revealed that on the night of Tracey's death, he had visited a YouTube page for Westlife's Flying Without Wings and various pornographic videos. So he jerked off the rest of the night, knowing he killed a defenseless woman.
That's
Strange.
wild.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how do you just kill someone and then jerk off the rest of the night? That's why he got caught. I've always said serial killers get caught because they're fucking dumb. Because, like,
Well,
if you look at, like, Jeffrey Dahmer, dude, that guy had to fuck up so bad. You don't keep rotting bodies in your apartment. What are you thinking? That is insane. And then just jack off.
yeah, like, I don't know, people are fucked.
Yeah.
And police were like really smart with all this shit too, because they actually checked the CCTV cameras, right? And this actually showed him leaving the bar with Tracey. And honestly, besides that, there really wasn't fucking much he could do. You know, he was just dead to rights kind of thing, right? So,
Yeah. The body in his apartment kind of, like, screwed him, I think, with the hacked apart and all that.
well, yeah, I mean, I think the camera footage might have something to do with it as well,
Yeah.
but not to that extent, right?
Yeah.
So let's go back to this fucking police interview here. Now, May refused to answer all the questions that were put to him. He was telling officers that he would be sticking to his original statement, right? So he's going to stick to that. And he only referred to, like, the locations of Tracey's body parts. So May was formally charged with Tracey's murder, but he pleaded not guilty on the grounds that he acted in self-defense and had lost fucking self-control. So yeah, that's fucking crazy. I guess I'll tell you his side of the story here. So, he said he first met Tracey in the smoking area of the Skinny Dog pub. He claimed that he and Tracey had a laugh and a joke. He said he had initially, like, no feelings towards her or anything like that, but as the night went through, people got drunk. He became more attracted to her over the night. So, as that progressed, I guess. Now, he added that we started having like a little kiss and like a cuddle or whatever here. And one thing led to another, and we had sex. And now May had described how he and Tracey later fell asleep, but when he woke up, he claimed to see her like kind of rifling through his wallet and shit, looking for stuff, right? So he fucking yells at her like, I said, "What are you doing, you thieving bitch?"
What
And
you doing, you thieving bitch?
that's better.
Okay.
Now, she came at me, flailing with her arms, so I tried to defend myself by stopping her. I got a hold of her hands and pushed them away with my hands, and then she called me a fucking prick.
Fucking prick.
Fucking prick. So, he said he lost control, and then I don't remember much. Next thing you know, she was on the floor dead. He added, I couldn't believe she was actually dead, so I sat on the couch, had a cigarette. May said that he recalled seeing something on TV about, like, cutting up a body and hiding it, which is bullshit because he fucking already knew how to do all this shit from being a butcher. So he added, I panicked and tried to get rid of the body, and I thought if I cut it up, that I could hide it. Now, he said he began to cut one of the arms off of the body using a knife, but he became violently ill. And then, he fucking put the body in the bathroom. As daylight was breaking in and stuff like that, it was starting to become light, and he just continued up cutting her up. Now, when the police asked him how the parts of Tracey's body ended up getting up in the storm drain, May had said that he put them into a rucksack and carried them on over. He said, I hid them because I thought they would wash out to sea. Now, he said when the police turned up at his door, he actually felt relieved. Like, he added, I'm fucking disgusted with myself. I can't apologize for it. I can't ask for forgiveness. He also tried to flush her organs and such down the toilet. Some of her remains are actually never found. It's pretty crazy.
That's not, that's not like a typical load for a toilet, and it doesn't break up like poop. So you're gonna, what the plunge it for so long?
Yeah, no, like, it's fucking insane.
That's terrible. This is a mess, too. Serious mess. Explains the chemical smells.
But,
Nobody bought this defense story, though.
oh no, no.
Yeah, naturally. She came at me with her arms flailing. I should chop her up. That's insane.
Oh yeah. So the 50-year-old had admitted killing her. Fuck. Oh no, I just totally pictured you fucking flailing your arms around. Fuck.
I was flailing my arms around, too. We just don't have it on camera.
Oh shit. So the
So
50-year-old had admitted to killing her, but denied that it was murder. And now all the court shit would start, right? Nobody believed this fucking guy, but they listened to him. They let him deliberate for like 54 minutes here before the jury had made a decision. Now the jury, they retired fucking for like, I think they left at 2:17 p.m. and they came back at 3:11. So it was less than an hour.
I wanted to get home.
Yeah, no, they wanted to do their own thing. So this was following like a 2-week trial and all that. They had returned in less than an hour. So they came back at 3:11. And then May was found guilty of Tracey Woodford's murder. And this, like, kind of triggered a bunch of shouts from, like, the court.
Yeah!
Exactly. Because all that was from the family and stuff, right?
Woo!
So the fucking defendant sat expressionless, and the jury foreman had delivered his verdict. So the defendant's account was that he had murdered Tracey in a fit of rage after catching her looking at his wallet was fucking rejected. They shut that down. They said that the whole thing was actually sexually motivated, and he was jailed for life. He was told that he would serve a minimum of 28 years in jail. And if on the case he ever is released, he'll spend it on fucking license or probation, whatever the fuck that means.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Life on parole.
that's right.
They call it license in England?
Yeah,
That's wild.
very wild. So,
In her sentencing remarks, Miss Justice Nicola Davies said his actions were those of a determined and ruthless sexual predator. Judge Davies said, your murder of Tracey Woodford was cruel, callous, and determined. These same characteristics prompted you in the hours and days after her murder to dismember her body and deliberately conceal it. You did this for one purpose, to avoid detection and arrest for the murder you knew you had committed. You embarked on this without a thought for your victim, and still less for that of her family, whose grief for their daughter and sister was more anguished by the grim.
so people that knew him started saying things about him like some couldn't believe his fucking horrendous crime. Some of his coworkers, they spoke up and shit, right? Some of them said that they never had a bad word to say about him. He would stop in the pub, have his drink. He was always a gentleman. Some called him Little Legs, because he would banter and all that, and he had these little fucking legs, I guess.
Nice.
Now, Tony Haney, this was a friend of May's. He had known the guy for 10 years. He said he was alright. Bit of a joker, He used to come over to my place here, and we'd watch rugby and shit like that. He was a pleasant fella. Another friend, Daniel Marshman, who knew May for around 15 years, he said that we got along very well. He was always good for a laugh. He goes, we didn't talk in depth about our lives or anything, but, we had jokes, we had a few beer. He was my friend. But some say there was another side of May, right? Like, think about all those fucking barmaids he was hitting on, right? Make him to feel uncomfortable and all that shit. You know, I'm sure he upset some of those waitresses with some of the disturbing things he said, right? You know, especially when the fucking girl was like young enough to be his daughter and shit like that. And the earliest May can hope to be released is in 2043. And although the judge has said that he'll never be freed, but kind of just goes to show you that you really can't fucking trust anyone, right? You gotta be more careful in bars. Hang out in groups and never go alone. Always be fucking careful of your surroundings, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, and this chick was a homebody. She just decided to go out one time. But, I mean, yeah, not victim blaming here. But she's a homebody, and it was just the one time she decided to go out.
Yeah. Fucking people are crazy, man. And after like May's conviction and everything, Tracey's family gathered outside. So this is the Cardiff Crown Court. They looked a little broken, a little shattered and shit, right? I mean, their whole fucking world just collapsed, right? So they read a statement on their behalf here. So it was said, "No words can begin to explain what Christopher May has done to our family. His action on that night in April, over the following days, and what he did to Tracey's body has destroyed us all. We simply cannot understand how anyone could treat another human being this way." And there was also a statement from Tracey's brother and sister. So this said, "The thoughts and visions of what he did to Tracey have haunted us every day for like the last 7 months. And it's something that we'll never get over." They talked about their mother. They said, "Our mother has nightmares most nights. She wakes up screaming and crying out Tracey's name. And she always asks, why the fuck would he do this to her?" And then it continued on. It said, "We see the devastation in each other's eyes and know the hurt that the other is feeling and know that we are helpless to stop the pain. He didn't just kill Tracey that night. He killed a part of us all. The fact that he didn't admit his guilt at the earliest opportunity and instead put us through the trial has only increased our pain. I wake up in the morning, and the first thing is I think of Tracey, you know. Every day I get by, I'm just surviving." Tracey's mother, Linda, spoke out about the horrendous moment that she viewed her daughter's body, which had to be fucking assembled back together on a mortuary table. And she said, "I started to get distressed when they started to tell me what had happened to Tracey's body. And it was like I was living in a nightmare. I didn't want to believe what they were saying. I thought, what person would do something like this, and what did he do to her?" She said, "I stood over her crying. I didn't know what to do or say. I kissed her on the forehead, and then I had to leave the room." Now, she added that this man has torn my family apart. It's destroyed us. And honestly, it's totally destroyed us all. And with that, folks, I think we'll wind down here. I mean, that's pretty much the end of the case here. Like, fuck, Josh. Like, even this dude, like, carried her severed head, like, through Pawnee Prit in, like, fucking broad daylight. He didn't give a fuck. You know, he just put it in this book bag, and he didn't fucking care. You know, he tried not to get caught. He did a really shitty job at that.
He didn't try that hard, really.
No.
Yeah, he's a lazy killer.
Well, yeah, fuck. I mean, even the families, like, all their fucking victim impact statements, right? Like, they had a hell of a time to get through, right?
Yeah.
The only way that her mother could identify her was from, like, the fucking fingerprints of her cut off fingers. I mean, that's gotta fuck you up mentally for the rest of your life, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of folk said that the events of the surrounding, like, death and everything was just wicked tragic. And neighbors also said that, like, it's just too shocking to think about. Like, you dread to think about that poor woman and what she had went through. And with that, folks, I think we'll end it here. I think we covered it all the way. So thanks for tuning in to the Josh and Twisty Show.
Hell yeah.
Hell to the yeah.
Hells to the yeah.
So what'd you think of that one, man?
That's pretty good, dude. That's cool. I like the tunnel thing. And then the dude trying to make a defense case after he chopped her body up. That's insane.
Yeah, when they found it in his fucking apartment.
He's like, it's self-defense. I was just chopping her body up and distributing it across the whole of England.
Flailing arms.
Fucking weirdo. Like she was flailing her arms.
I had to fucking do it. She was flailing.
She came at me flailing. Then I just killed her.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I thank you very much for hopping on here, buddy.
Yeah, dude, thanks for having me on. Sorry I fucking interrupted so much.
Oh, fuck, that's fine, dude. We'll get this done.
Hell yeah.
Well, thanks for tuning in to Twisted Tales, everybody. Hope you all have a wonderful night. See you, buddy.
Peace.
Friday the 24th of April this year, I was on duty at Cocket Police Station actually, when I received a call from the BCU in Pontypridd that tragically a missing person had been found, but tragically she'd been found dismembered within an address in Pontypridd, and that then triggered a major crime investigation. Christopher May was a 50-year-old male, was arrested at the scene at his address where parts of Tracey were recovered. He's a trained butcher. He had the skills to dismember Tracey. There was some indication from Mr. May that parts of Tracey were within his property and also within an expansive area of the Pontypridd Rugby Club. The challenge for our search teams were what we're going to have to deal with on the recovery of body parts. This is an investigation that South Wales Police have never had to deal with, certainly in my 20 years of policing. May himself has shown no remorse. Even at the time of the discovery of Tracey, he tried to trick the officers into believing that she wasn't in the flat in the first instance. I have no doubt that if they wouldn't have done what they did, certainly within the bathroom of the flat, that we would not have recovered Tracey's body. We could not have conducted this investigation without the help and support of two communities. The community of Rhyd Felyn, where Tracey is from, and where the family currently live, and the community of Pontypridd, because they've had to live through all of this, certainly over the course of the last 7 months. But I want to really thank the family. They've showed immense strength to get through this investigation to this point. But hopefully this now will provide some closure. The sentencing of Christopher May will allow the family to get on with their own lives. Clearly they will never forget what has happened to them, but at least this is the start of that process.
Twisted Tales.